Okay, good afternoon, gents. Where's my... There it is. Let's get that up there. Good afternoon, all. Hope everyone is okay. We got in this morning. Sam, how you doing, bud? Groll Daddy, good morning. What? How you doing, fella? Ranwolf, good morning. Good afternoon, Lance. I'm okay, mate. I'm all good. Ionis, how are you? Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on this, actually. We seem to have a leg up, 2 legs of correction. If I'd have gotten a bit earlier, I'd have taken that higher low there because I think that's a lovely trade. It's also a failure. So we got... Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a failure. I really like that trade. Unfortunately, I didn't get in, but we had a lovely leg up, 2 legs of correction. Now, if the penguin guy is looking at that trade there, he'd have 100% taken that, probably above there. So what I'm going to do is just put a little mark where I think the penguin guy would have taken. Just going to put that little mark there. So we got a clear leg up, 2 lovely legs of correction, then a push up, a bit of a pullback, nice bullish bar, and then a higher low, and that would have been a beautiful trade to take. In fact, let's put a little mark there and just put missed it, because I really like that. Right, what did I get? So missed that. I think was a really nice trade. In fact, let's change it to a blue one because I think that's a high probability trade. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but that is a cracker. There. That's frustrating, actually. What do you think of that, guys? Lovely, I think. So we got a leg up, 2 legs of correction, 2 legs up, a pullback, nice bullish bar, and this one came down and more or less, in fact, that's probably even an overshoot, actually. I would say confirm that channel. Let's have a look. Let's bring that in. Yeah, beautiful. That fits really nice, actually. I can go down a fraction. Oh, yeah, I really like that. Push up, pull back, nice big bullish bar, higher low, nice and bullish, and then off it went. See, the good trades will then just move, and look at that. That's what I'm trying to do, be able to get to the level of confidence. In fact, there may be a trade coming up here. Second entry long off here. That's a bit of an overshoot. So let's see what we get here, because I think I really like that. Oh, no, not 5 contracts, 2 contracts. Okay, there's my PA. We're playing 25 on that. Yes, 2000. PA. Beautiful. Yeah, I like that. That's a leg up, 2 legs of correction, another leg up. That's the type of trade, whether you get in either one of those, that I want to eventually hold on for and get close to one of these. And if you'd have taken that, maybe put it under there, put it under that swing. I don't know, maybe put it under there. That might have taken you. So if you'd have taken it there, put it under that swing, that would give you 6.5 points. If you'd have given it an extra tick, you'd have probably still got hit, but that hasn't triggered below, unfortunately. It's triggered the same, so you know what? We still got height to go, so I'm going to toggle off all my trades and take 31 because I like that, but I don't want to. I prefer it to trigger below. If it finishes nice and bullish, I'll take it as a second entry long. Hey Sam, oh I've said hello, haven't I? Chris, how you doing, bud? NC, good morning all. What time is it? 28 minutes past. Okay, we're getting close to the open here. In fact, no, let's just leave it. Let's leave it as it is. 25. Let's leave it as it is. Hopefully we'll get a bit more down there. We are coming to this open. TGIF, something good, something. I'm not sure. So leg and a leg. I really like how that channel fits. We got a channel up, 2 legs of correction. Let's just, there is a little bit of congestion here, which is why it might be stalling a touch. Let's just mark that as the open. New day open. Okay. Right. Market opens in a few seconds. It's so tempting to take that. Hey Rodian, how you doing, bud? I really like that. I'd have preferred it trigger below, but there's not a great deal of room to the highs. What to do? Nah, market's officially open. It's probably going to push up, I dare say. Let's have a look. So if I'd have gotten it there, it would have had to get to there. Now, is it going to get there? It might have been a good decision to leave that. To be fair, I preferred it break below. That is a sort of a hidden second entry. Ooh. Trouble is we've had a break and a new high, so although I expect to get up here, in fact, I'm going to toggle off and I'm going to buy this.
Order submitted.
I really like it.
Order filled.
Just for a couple of points. Let's just go for... Just going to go for a point here. I expect it to hit this measured move. Although it is really stalling, isn't it?
Target filled.
Okay. Oh, it had probably worked. Another tick higher. I really like it, actually. I really like the bar as a higher low. Trouble is, we're right at these highs, although I expect it to hit that. I hate getting into these scrappy trades, I do. Okay, I'm up $50, I suppose. Let's have a look. Second entry short. Dear me, what to do? No, I think I've pushed my luck enough. It's 25, that isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we've already made a new high, so I'm leaving this alone. You could say that's a second entry short, although it's not high, so you could call this a failure. I go on strike highs, but I'm not taking it because we've already made a new high, although I do expect to get up here. But there's just, I don't know, it's one of those things I don't want to risk. Let's leave that for now. I mean, these are, as we know, these are accurate, but we've already had a break and a couple of pushes up to a new high, so I think that may be a bit risky. So I'm just going to leave it. I just got half a point. It would have made a point, I think. Oh well, let's leave it. Let's leave it. Let's just call that as half a point. Okay, toggle on. 25, 25. Let's just check everything's working as it should.
Order submitted.
Yes, beautiful.
Order cancelled.
Second entry long. The trouble is, it's just so high, isn't it? I think that's a bit risky. I'm just getting a bit nervous about that. And if I get a bit nervous, I think the sensible thing to do. It looks like it's going up. Trouble is, it'll have got some longs in there, and we've already made a new high. It's one of these things that could just drop quickly, take out long stops there and there. So I think that's a bit risky. Leg down, leg down. Bit too risky, I think. So I'm gonna leave this. It may be going a bit sideways, which means it may trigger. But no, it's looking a bit dicey now, to be honest with you. How far did that go? Okay, so it would have made a point comfortably. I just took half a point, something I just didn't like about it. That's the trade to take. Sorry, have I missed Rodian? First time this week. I'm staying up late. Of course, you're in a heart of my enemy's territory at the moment, aren't you? Australia. New York session. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I forgive you being Australian. Sam, traders don't like Fridays. We have nothing to do on weekends. Yeah, that's it. I do. I'm going fishing tomorrow. I'm getting back into me fishing again. I'm finding it is really relaxing me. I do a little bit of carp fishing. There's a lovely lake. It's, what is it? It's about 100 meters, sort of from side to side. And it's literally 3 minutes from my front door. So yeah, this is getting a bit dangerous now. So I'm glad I got out there. I don't know, it's just going along into the highs. Sometimes I get into these trades before I think about them. I'm focusing on that, see, although they are really accurate. But bearing in mind we've had a break, there's no guarantees we're going to get there. I mean, we could, but this is starting to look like it's coming down to me. So anyway, so we got half a point there. It all helps, I suppose, doesn't it? Six, yeah. Right. Yeah, I was just looking to see if there was anything bigger here. And I don't think there is, although that kind of fits kind of nice, but no. I need to start. It's amazing. The more you trade sometimes, the more you can... who I missed anyway. Good morning, Lance. Sorry. If I missed Sam. Yeah, read that. Brick, how you doing, bud? Exponential Trader. Good morning to you, mate. Graham, how you doing, bud? How you doing? My trading lately is getting a bit scrappy. Couple of ticks here, half a point here. I just got to focus a bit more. That was the trade of the morning. That was so far. We got a leg up, 2 legs, clear 2 legs of correction, 2 legs down, and another leg up. Unfortunately, didn't hit this high. Whether it's going to still get up there or not remains to be seen. We'll have to see. Perhaps we've pushed that, made a new high. Maybe we're going to be a little bit of a pullback, and then I don't know whether there's any type of a range or something. There's certainly a little bit of support there, so tell you what, I want to start putting a few support lines in here somewhere, because they do make a difference sometimes. Let's find something a bit neutral. Solid. Dash dot we'll go for. Dash dot. Templates. Save. Template. Apply. Okay. I'm noticing sometimes a lot of these trades. Well, now I know about support and resistance lines because I used to trade, when I first started, I traded currency. And first thing we would do is change this from a bar chart to a line chart, and then we would put our support and resistance lines, so anywhere where it touched a few times. So certainly somewhere here, maybe here, maybe at the low, maybe here. Just, and I don't tend to do that. Mac doesn't talk about that, but a lot of the times it will bounce at these areas. I mean, it's clearly bouncing there, is it? I wouldn't call that a range because we've had a break in the new high. We've just come down. But I would call it a support line because it is being supported. So let's see if we do make this measured leg. So let's have a look. It looks like it's going to do, but you got to be careful because it could push up. It could turn into a range, and so at the moment that is our high, and I do like seeing these measured leg plays out. Now that looks like a leg. We get a small little pullback here, or a bit of sideways, and another leg that would hit that. So, yeah, it's a shame I didn't get here a bit earlier. What time did that happen? It was about midday UK time now. I was out doing stuff. JP, hola amigos. How you doing? Friday. Excuse me for being finicky. 3 o'clock. Shame you can't get some sort of a countdown on here, counting down to the news, because sometimes you can get that focused in these. That'd be beautiful if it is that. I'm just trying to think. That's why I got out of that, because it was weak. Really, to go higher there for this, you want it to push strongly below and then push up and sit on there like a pin bar, really. Leg and leg, that should hit that. Leg and leg, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so I don't think, in all fairness, we touched here, touched here, touched here. It touches one on the back. This looks like to break to me. I have had a look to see if it's this, maybe a larger channel, but it's possible there is. Kind of fits nice, doesn't it? But I think it's probably a bit early for that. At the end of the day, we got a leg. So we've had this leg and we got another leg, so I'm not a fan of doing that. Sometimes that can get you into trouble. Robin, if you add up Penguin's points made for June and July, it totals 142 points. Told you the guy's a winner, and I watched him again last night. That little mark there, I want to know that I'm reading the markets the same as him. So if I see a trade, now for me, that is a leg up, and I could hear him say it. 2 legs of correction, beautiful, clear legs of correction, and then another leg up, and look what's happening. So where would you take a trade here? That one's risky. It's always better to take a higher low. That one, yeah, I like it to push up and come back a bit. And there's a nice bar there. Now, that's only a first entry, but that's a higher low, a clear higher low. And I really like that trade. Now, these are really accurate. So, I mean, he would take, I'd say, because we've had that leg 2-to-1 there without a shadow of a doubt. So, if he... Would he put his stop here? Would he put it down here? He'd probably put it here, actually. So he'd put his stop here. It's quite a big old bar there. So he'd probably... God, that's a big bar, that is. Yeah, say maybe around 4 points. Is that right? Surely not. We'll tick below that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe 3.75 points. So he would have to... On there, he would be going for 7.5 points. So if he takes it here for 7.5 points, wow, you'd be out there. Look at that, 2-to-1. So one trade, you'd have 7.5 points. That's unreal, isn't it? And look how much further it goes. Now, he tends to go for the 1-to-2 when we have this leg, if he can get in quite early. Now, he wouldn't come out here at these highs because it's clear to me it's a leg up, 2 legs of correction, another leg up. So that is something I believe he'd take. So it's clear. Leg up, 2 legs of correction, little push up in the way of 2 legs, pull back, touch this, so then you draw that bigger channel. Went up, came down, more or less touched that as well. So that really confirms that. And it's pretty clear, isn't it? It's working nice there. And I really like that one. Unfortunately, I wasn't here, otherwise I'd have jumped all over that one. 142 points. Oh man, that is seriously in June. Christ almighty. And that is serious, isn't it? Wow. I mean, a couple of people have said to me, yeah, but he doesn't show his trade, so how do you know? The way he reads the markets, he explains it very clear. Where he takes his entries, he explains it very clear. Where he exits the trade, he takes 1-1 or 2-1. It makes perfect sense, and he shows his losers. And he has you can pay to join his now. If you're a fly-by-night, if you're a bit of a con merchant, you're not going to be able to read the market as well as he does and explain it in a clear manner as well as he does and get away with it for long. People will, you start trying to con people on the air, people will soon sort you out. Beautiful second entry long with 800 on the NQ. Really. Took the lower high back to the EMA. Oh, that one there. Yeah, I think the only thing that would have kept me out of that trade is because of this. But leg. I mean, it may not get there. It's always possible. Yeah, I don't think that was bad. You'd probably expect it. It's getting a bit weak around there, isn't it? So you probably expect it to fall back a little bit. I'd say there's got to be 2 points there, isn't there? Yeah, that first bar did 2.25 or 2.5 points. So yeah, so maybe a couple of legs and another push up. Just trying to see if there's any type of a larger trend going on here. Larger trend. Sorry. I mean, that's a possibility. It's just a bit too early. If we can get up here. I mean, we're going a bit sideways now, and we've pinged off this, haven't we? We've sort of had a leg up, maybe coming back to here, and then another leg. So that would make sense. Let me just put this there. So we got a leg up there. If we ended up coming back here, that would take us comfortably up to there. So if we end up moving one leg down, a second leg down to around about here, that would make sense. Now, whether it is that, I don't know. I just like to look at options. Because if it starts to push up here, then, if it does come back to here, then that would make a bit of sense. So I like to try and preempt what I'm looking at. Now, I'm obviously not taking a trade at the moment, so I'm not getting myself into a trade. All I'm trying to do now is trying to work out what I think it's doing. And if I can understand what the markets do, it helps me make better decisions on my trades. Now, if this... I'm just thinking here, maybe we've got a leg down, it'll pull back another leg and a bounce off here and then a push up to this level here. If we come down to this level and push up to here, then it just shows I'm reading these the market right. Spike and channel starting from where your second measured leg begins. Second measured leg here. Yeah, that's another option. Although the only thing I'll say about that is I'd prefer to touch there, so maybe it's a little bit lower. I'd like to get that involved, but at the moment, if we take it up to there, let's push that a bit. Yeah, it's possible. The trouble is I've done this before, and there's something about that I don't like at the moment. Yeah, sometimes they can get you into trouble then, but what I will say is let's forget these for now. My main focus at the moment is this leg, 2 legs of correction, and another leg. Now, these legs are really accurate. The route they take, that can be a bit rocky. I mean, you may have jumped in here, you may think, oh yeah, look at that, that looks really good, that looks good, that looks good. Really tempting these, because straight away, if you're waiting for this leg, you're thinking, oh yeah, we've had a break, brilliant, we're pushing, this is where we're going to go. And all of a sudden, like I mentioned, you've got buys there, you've got buyers there, maybe buyers here, and then all of a sudden, bang, it comes down, takes out 3 lots of buyers, and then works up strong. So that's the thing about the market, really. You've got to really get into strong positions, especially if you're going to hold them. Strong position to get in and hold is here. I mean, even if you got in there, it's not strong really. For me, you've got to drop. You've got to sort of maybe land here and drop. What am I getting here? Let me go to a drawing tool. Is there just like a normal drawing tool here? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, really, we're going sideways here. If we get something that sort of drops like this and then pushes up, you know, something like that, second entry, that's a strong position that you could sort of put your stop on, and pretty sure these really strong positions hold. But there's nothing really looks strong there. That's only a first entry. That's not really a high or low, and it's a bit far off the EMA, and that one a little bit congested. We're at these highs, so I mean, look at that. Maybe you're going to pull back a bit, which we did. So that's why I got out of that one, because I'm, you know, sometimes I can see what's happening, but I'm thinking, hold on a minute, you should know better than this now. Yeah, it's a high or low, but it's weak, and we're right at the highs. Really, a lot of the times, to get more buyers in, you're not going to get many buyers in there. When it drops back to here, that's where the buyers want to get in, because they want that move, not hope it does this. A lot of times I see Mac drawing a spike and channel starting from the bottom of the wick, and other times support and resistance such as Barclay. Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? But look at that. It's done that measured move beautifully. Now, you have this breaking a new high. We start to come down, and you're thinking, okay, maybe it's not going to get to that, but it comes down. I'm going to draw more of these support and resistance lines, because there's clearly some support and resistance there, isn't there? Clearly, we got a touch there, the touch of that bar there, touch of that close there. So around that area, there's clear. We're bouncing, we push up, and we're bouncing. And obviously, the way it's stalling there, that's an indication for me. This is where it's going to pick up some more buy orders. And obviously, buyers got in, and look how strong we had. Two strong bars, went up 6 points. Nice and quickly, a little bit of a maybe take some profits, and then push up again, and then maybe a couple of legs back, and then look at that, leg and a leg. So if it does come back a bit and continues higher, that's when. But you know, if I'd have seen that push up, 2 legs back, and that high low, that's why it's useful sometimes to get in. It's a bit early, that it's not even maybe around about midday-ish. But that is a beautiful trade in my opinion. It is a second entry long. There's a first entry. We pull back a bit, and there's our second entry. So it's a second entry long. It's a higher low. It's a failure by the count as well. And it's confirming this, and then pushes up nice and strong. So that is a beauty. Your long, 601. Long at 601. Long at here. Oh, sometimes they come back. Now we've hit this 601. So if you're long here, oh, you might get stung here. That might touch the EMA. We've made this measured leg now. Depends where your stop is, mate. So let me just have a look here. Let's see if there is something else here. Let's just move these out of the way a bit. Let's start from here. Okay, so that's not terrible. Let's bring that down there. It is easy to get into these just too early. Let's see if that comes down to there. Okay, so let's just get rid of this. In fact, let's make it darker so we can leave the rest. Okay, so we touched here. Let's bring that down a touch. Okay, so we touched here, touched here, touched here. So that's 3 places. We touched here, touched a bunch of times over here. Okay, so that sort of seems right. Sort of seems right. But I have found, remember the news is in 6 minutes, folks, so careful what you do. You got your 2 points, all right. I'm going to say careful, Sam, because the news is coming up, bud. Yeah. Let's just kill the colour on that. Okay, so yeah, but the picture, you can all see that, can't you? The leg up, 2 legs of correction, and another leg up right to the, you know, So if you can get in there and then go for your 2 to 1 or 4 points or whatever, but you know, that's a nice push, that is. And if your stop's down here, you can sit and wait. If we've had this and 2 legs of correction, it's not going to come back here. The chances are slim, especially when we've had that move. It'll come back maybe here or maybe here at the lowest. But you'll be out. You're out with your two lots. What is it? Risk 1, you know, 1 to 2. You're out with your, you know. Hey Nick, how you doing? Consensus on yesterday's channel. I noticed the Penguin had it the same as me. Now your channel was correct, but I think that it went into a bigger channel. So I did look at the Penguin guy and he had it the same, but that I think was where you had it, and that you're right is the bigger channel. So you said we'd had a break and 2 legs down. So I then, well, I don't know then, but I had the channel I had was there, which also touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here, a bunch of times here, and here, touched lovely. And then for me, we had a break, which was 2 legs, and then we came down and made a new low. And then the arse fell out of it. And I will say, I got another evaluation and got it up to $3,016 here. Once we started really moving, where did I get in? I got in that second entry short on 10 contracts. I did it on about 4 trades, I think. Where else? Somewhere else I got in. I can't remember. I don't know. But I ended up passing another evaluation. In fact, I just got out where I needed to. It actually would have got a lot more. I think both right. Yeah, I mean, channels develop, don't they? But the initial one was that one clear. But when we'd had the break and we came down, and when we came back up and bounced again, that for me then, when it hit this level, that for me then thinks, okay, maybe there's a bigger channel in play. But then when this came down, I'm thinking, is this channel right? And I remember someone else said, they're both right. They're both confirmed. We touch a bunch of times. We touch a bunch of times. And then we had 2 legs up and then a new low. I mean, whether this was going to come anyway. So I'd say they're both right. That one you obviously need to focus on initially. But then we do this all the time, don't we? We have a small channel here, then it extends and then it extends again. And by the end of the day, you know, you've ended up, you've got something like this, haven't you? But yeah, I think you need to start small and then grow as it develops, because if you grow too quick in these bigger, I found sometimes they can, oh God, I so like that. Leg down. The only bit that's worrying me is because of this, but if we're in an uptrend, oh, look at that. Okay, leg down. I've got to take this, I think.
Order submitted.
It's off that key entry point. I've got to take it. Oh, hold on. News. Christ almighty.
Order
Don't do
cancelled.
that, Lance. Oh, I could have got myself into some... That's what I mean. I forget this. Oh, look, how nice is that? Leg, bounce. Oh, I love that. I've just forgot the news is in a minute and a half. There is a second entry long there at this key entry point. Maybe because we've hit this, might be better off taking the higher low. It's hard to say, but that for me is a leg and a leg. But we've got the news, so that can be deadly. Okay, so we got a leg down, a break, and a new low. That's a little micro there with a break and new low. So that, if it wasn't for the news, one touched a bunch of times here, touched here, touched. I think that's a nice trade. Maybe it depends how confident you are on this channel. Maybe the higher low. It's hard to say. So let's have a look. Now, try go once, try go twice. There's a possible failure there which may trigger and push up giving you a higher low, unfortunately. The one decent bloody trade we get, let's see if that triggers and then pushes up. The one decent trade we get, it's right on the news. Okay, so that's triggered. If that finishes bullish, that'll be your high low. Obviously, the news is happening, so it could do bloody anything. God, it's so frustrating, isn't it? God, that's annoying. Okay, that looks to me like it's going to carry on. Sometimes the news makes a bit of a difference, but not a lot sometimes. But I find sometimes it still works in the direction. But so if I wouldn't have noticed that, would I have got out there? Probably not. I usually have mine set at 2.25 points. God, I've done that before. I got to be so careful with this news. I think sometimes I'm best off just doing that, aren't I? And cover it. Yeah, I'm going to do that in future, so I can't see it. That's a safe bet. Make it larger. Stick it right in the way. Okay, so again, it's respected that line. So for me, it's still going up. There's your higher low. It's still just a bit risky at the moment, isn't it? But I expect that to push up. So now would have got me points. Trouble is, if it spikes massively, I've had a 2-point stop and it's taken me out for 4 points. I could have lost $400 on 5 accounts. That's $2,000 just out of stupidity. Okay, so that would have worked. 2.25 I have mine set at. I tend to bring it down. I probably wouldn't have done in that scenario because it's looking quite strong. Yeah, that's working nice, that is. I've got a swing trade on target 609 up here. I'd say you get it, mate. There's some big orders up around there, up to 10 up here. Oh, that's frustrating, that is. I'd have taken that. Obviously, it went a bit, it spazzed out a bit there, didn't it? But I would have taken that. I know sometimes, think about taking the higher low, but to me, that's a leg down, a break, push down, bounce off this, nice and strong. To me, I get worried about taking these trades. It obviously gives you a bit more confidence taking them, but sometimes I miss out on good trades just because I get a bit nervous. But to me, 1, 2, it's touching really nice there. It's really respecting that line. So for me, Mac will mark that, I got no doubt. Unfortunately, we won't see. So this is a trade I believe the Penguin guy had taken. I'm trying to just sort of figure out what trades he takes. Let's leave it black. Maybe there. Yeah, I like that, I do. I mean, you can't argue with that line, can you? It's fitting nice along there. It's fitted a bunch of times there and a bunch of times there. Yeah, it is frustrating that it happened right on the news, isn't it? Because that, for me, I do get nervous sometimes taking trades, but that's clearly, there's your little micro, there's your break, and so it's clearly 2 legs down, and it finished nice and bullish. Mac had 100% marked that. So we got a leg up, little pullback. I still expect another leg up to get to this 10 area because there is some strong liquidity up here. So that is where I would expect it to get to. Whether it gets there in one foul swoop, Who knows? Gutted about that one. That's so clear, that. Now this, it's struggling to get much higher. So it's areas like this, I think we may get a break. Because it's getting a bit weak, isn't it? Perfect second entry long and bounce off that support. Yeah, it's lovely, that, isn't it? See, what I plan to do in these bigger scenarios when we have these channels is try and go for a few more points. So what do we have to the high? We had 3.5, 3. Yeah, see, I still expect that to go higher, but in all honesty, I'd have probably gone for 3 points there. Now, if we'd have come from these levels up here, so, you know, if this had been up here somewhere like this, then I'd have probably gone for a bit more. You know, maybe sort of 6 points or something. Or maybe, let's say 2 to 1, whatever risk that was. So, tick above, tick below, what is it? 0.5. It's 2.5 points, so say 3 points. So, yeah, 6 points would take us to here. But the trouble is, we're bouncing right at the top here, nice. But then when we come up again, we don't get quite as high, just over the middle line, and same again. And it's slowly drawing back to this side of the channel, which for me means it's weakening a little bit. And that is where I would expect sort of something, you know, something like that. It's not the best diagram, but it's something along the lines of that. Because it's getting a bit weak, isn't it? Oh, sod off. Sorry about the finicking around. Because, yeah, I mean, if we get up to this nice push strong and then come back and then push strong again, I like channels like that. But this is just for me where I would expect a break. Let's just remove that. It does look like a couple of legs, that, doesn't it? Trouble is, we're coming further and further away from this side, aren't we? So that would make me a bit nervous. So this is where I would expect a break. As it's, you know, as it's coming further away, if it went up nice and strong, came down to here, then yeah, nice, another strong push up. We didn't get as high, did we? And same again, but we're sort of, these areas here, from here to here, are getting slightly smaller than here, aren't they? So, this would be an area for a break for me. Yeah, it looks a bit weak around here. I think that might trigger and come out personally. I hope I'm wrong. But it's looking weaker. That's nice and strong. That's pretty strong. But it's just, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 nice bars there. There's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 nice bigger bars, but we're struggling to get over this. So for me, it's just getting a bit weak. What have I missed here? Let's have a look. Oh, the channel, it's losing steam. Yeah, it is a bit. see whether you call it a channel or not. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. It's clearly bouncing there, and not just once, multiple times. But because it's coming further away from this side, for me, it's just getting weaker, and that's why I would like to see a break if we do get up any higher. And maybe this channel may work. If it does break out, maybe we're going to move up at a different angle. So news is gone. So that's it today. What I need to do is stuff that in there next time, because I so nearly got into that trade. I'd have got away with it, but I'd rather not take it than get away with it, because if it drops dramatically, it could do you some real damage. Yeah, so for me, this is going to come out and stop that out. Maybe leg and leg. I don't know. That looks like a full thing for me. It's just losing its strength. Strength, sorry. Fell breakout right there. Ion. Know about it though after the doji. You know about there. Fell breakout. So you're seeing this, are you? Fell breakout. Are you on about that type of thing? I'm assuming that's what you meant. I did look at that, but it's weak to me, which is why I wouldn't have got in. So, I mean, you could micro adjust this and incorporate that into it, but you know, every time we're getting further and further away from this side, aren't we? Yeah, I did notice the way it was all lining up on the bottom there, but it's just, for me, because it's weak, it might just, yeah, it's struggling for me. So I probably wouldn't call that a break, actually. It may be, but you could micro adjust this. Yeah, it's hard to say. I think it might be better off to assume it is a break. It probably isn't, but let's see what happens first. See if it does get up. I just hate it when it's working slow, like this, slow and sideways. What a shame about that, isn't it? We don't get a lot of good trades. In fact, I think that was a nice trade. That was the trade of the day so far. But how often do you get two really nice setups, you know, within the space of a day? We don't now, really. What I would call nice setups. In fact, that might be a whole range. We don't get nice setups. Very few of them. And to have two like that, that was a nice one. Just classic, wasn't it? Leg down, break, little micro break, clearly respecting this line. You could hear Max say, we've got leg break, leg down, nice bullish bar, clear respect this line, you've got to take that. And the fact that it came down a tick away doesn't really make a difference. The majority of Max, a lot that he takes does the same. Doesn't mean that it's a bad trade when, you know, when bars come, you know, the tail ends come down close. But yeah, I'd hate to be in a trade there. Hate them when they do that. Let's get rid of that. It's just so if we can get a nice bullish bar here, then I think that might push up, because we could probably do that in all fairness. Touches there. Yeah, it's close enough to put that in. And if we get a nice big bullish bar there, usually it'll go sideways. We bounce off here a couple of times, nice big bullish bar, and then that, you know, gets traders longs excited again. But we shall see. I'd have preferred that to drop a bit and then sit there, and then maybe take that as a higher low. Okay, so we may get out here. Okay, we're above that now. So let's see how far we get, because it is getting further and further away, isn't it? So liquidity up here between 2007 and here. So we'll see. It does seem to me like it's losing a bit of steam. It was nice and strong there, pretty strong there, and every time nice and strong there, a little bit less there, a little bit less there. But you just don't know. It might just continue on up. Excuse me. Let's have a look. 10,000 tick chart. Doesn't really tell us much, does it? Clearly see we're going up, but we seem to be losing steam. It's strong down here, and then as it gets progressively higher, it's losing steam. So I would expect a break at some point, because it's just losing momentum. And if it is going to go higher, I'd expect it a bit of a break. Sorry, I'm just looking at the cricket scores. It's looking nice. Okay. Right, okay. Maybe a failure there. I don't know. Depends on what you think of this. Would you short there? Probably not. I'd say if it breaks above there, I'd expect that to push on up. The trouble is, I just don't know. These bars are getting smaller and smaller. Although the ATR is still quite high. Just... it certainly does look like it's working, doesn't it? But I've got into trades like this before. I've got to leave now. Lance, the recurring monthly price on Apex, 80%, charge of 50%. I'll have to wait till the next comment, mate. I'll get a little icon here for some reason. There we go. The recurring monthly price on Apex stays at 80%. Other charge, the 50% of it goes up. Not sure what you mean there, mate. From what I understand of it, it's 80% now, and every reoccurring month is 80% at the moment. And that finishes term Monday. Sorry, dashboard page. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, the 80% finishes Monday. But if you get into one now, I think that's what you mean. Every other, if you take longer than a month, it's still 80%. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on Tuesday. I'm guessing we'll have a 50% off resets, which make them about $40, $42, somewhere around there. Okay. I kind of like that, but I'm not taking it because these bars are just, I don't know, it's getting further and further away from here, and I can see it triggering and breaking. I might be wrong, but it's just looking weak. So if it breaks above here, I don't know whether there's any shorts in there taking this. I don't know. I think it's doubtful, but it's just looking a bit weak for me. The strength's gone out of it. Now it could just keep on riding right up. It's possible, but I don't know. Something tells me, just, you know, when you get that feeling, I try and listen to that feeling now. If something just doesn't look inviting to me, and then I just leave it alone. Just bought another 4 Eagles using your code. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, mate. I've actually done really well this month. So if you've used my code, now I know you guys don't have to, and you know, you can go to whatever streamer or whatever, any of your buddies. I'd say if if your friends have got them, use your friends. But if you do use mine, I do appreciate it, and it covers my trading cost. I work some weekends to give me a sort of a regular income, and then it enables me to trade full time. So it's helped me, the streaming. It's helped me deal with the revenge trading side of it. Sometimes I focus too much on the comments, and they can get me into trouble a bit. But what I'm trying to do is focus, if there's an area where it's congested or we're waiting for news, that's the time I'll have a little bit more of a chat. Yeah, that's what I was concerned about. Now, whether it'll bounce there or push up, but it's just weak, all this area to me. And it's very easy to get in there. And so, yeah, there's a fair list. Second entry short there. Short this top. Trigger push up. Now, it might hold, but I'd hate to be in that trade now because it could quite easily tick that out. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But yeah, going back to it, if you do use my code, it is appreciated. And I only use it because I know it doesn't cost you anymore. In fact, when I very first started streaming, I emailed Apex and said, instead of giving me the 15%, could you knock 50% off one of my viewers off their bill? And the answer was that if word got around that was happening, all the other affiliates would get upset. So, but I did try. It'd have been nice to give you guys an extra 50% off on top of all the discounts. I just blew my P account today, starting to doubt myself again. Mate, I can't tell you how many times I've been in that exactly the same position. In my honest opinion, and I'll read this if I can find it, someone sent me a picture of this tweet. Trouble is, if you're taking lots of photos, you've got to search back for about 20 minutes. Where is it? Okay. Someone sent me this tweet maybe 3 weeks ago. No book, tweet or coach will keep you from losing more money than you intend to. You have to get so sick to the stomach of making the same mistakes that you reach a point where you say enough's enough. Then maybe you stop hurting yourself. Now, I think that explains that in a nutshell. I've traded and blown accounts till I felt literally physically sick, angry with myself, down, depressed. And I found then I'm slowly starting to change. So I don't think there's a magic bullet. I think it's time and just pure feeling sick, feeling frustrated. For me, that's when you start to make better decisions. So I feel your pain, bud, but you know, one thing I will say, and I've had to learn this myself, is don't beat yourself up because you're reacting the way human beings react. We panic. We jump back in. We make silly decisions. And although I don't revenge trade so much now, you'll see me take trades a lot quicker than I should have done. So I don't revenge trade, and I've done it twice in 7 months, whereas I was doing it every other day when I first started. So streaming's helped me, because if people are watching me, I'm getting to know a lot of you guys, and I'm going to look like a bit of a plank if I just jump in now and do something, you know, start buying or jump in, and that would embarrass me. So that's helped me. But you know, I really don't try and beat yourself. God, I don't know, it's looking a bit precarious. This could absolutely drop. I'd say this picked up a few longs there, maybe there, possibly, and it could just have a quick. When it gets weak like this, these are the areas that I expect to break and take out a load of stops, and then maybe have a couple of legs down, and then maybe encourage some, you know, more buyers to get in. So we'll keep an eye on that. These, I'm starting to put these in now, I am, because I'm noticed sometimes I'm taking shorts. Somebody messaged me the other day, was it Caleb or something like that, that said I took a long straight into resistance. I sort of agree with him to a degree. The trade I took, I think it was a weak signal bar, but it did break and it did push through resistance. But I am trying to be aware, because every trader I watch on YouTube are constantly talking about this. So I think it's important just to keep an eye on areas where there is some support and resistance. So look at this now. So if you took that long, you got stopped out. If you took that long, you got stopped out. If you took that long, you got stopped out. Maybe that, I don't know, but this looks to me, like I mentioned, it's weak, and these areas are where they have breaks. Now let's see if that one holds. You may get away with that one if you took it as like 2 legs down, but you can see it's getting weak, and obviously if you did get in there, you just got punished, unfortunately. I don't like to see anybody getting stuff, but yeah, so Kev, don't beat yourself up, mate. It happens. You just got to try again. All I say is if you find you're blowing lots of accounts, I wouldn't get, you know, as much as I love you using me code, I would say if you're blowing multiple evaluations at a time, personally, I would just stick with one. And that's how I started. When I started to earn a little bit of money, and I haven't earned a lot, I've had about 4 $2,000 payments this year, so not a lot. But when I found I could make one work and I felt a bit more confident and the revenge trading started to get better, that's when I started applying for more accounts. But if anybody's finding it hard, don't get a bunch of accounts, because all you're doing is copying one bad trade onto a bunch of others. You know, it's depressing enough blowing one eval, but when when you're using a trade copper and you're blowing another 4 along with it, it's frustrating. I am going to email Apex and suggest an offer that maybe we buy 2 get 1 free at some point. 50% off, or I don't know, 75% off, buy 1 get 1 free, or buy 3 get 1 free, or something like that. Yeah, so if you had any longs in there, and I bet there were some longs, you could have said that looked like 1 leg down, 2 legs down. Now, some people call that a doji. Now, for me, a doji is a perfect cross. That is 1 tick off its high. So if you got in there, you got stopped out. If you took the failure, you got stopped out. If you took the higher low out the top of this, you got stopped out. So it was just getting weak, and for me, it was a matter of time before it broke. You can clearly see after this, it starts to weaken, doesn't it? Now, if traders are going to go long and there is liquidity up here, I'd expect a couple of legs or maybe a bit of sideways, and then maybe some continuation. So there may end up being a bigger channel there. Who knows? Hello, Sam. How you doing, bud? Sam, when are you going to get back to some streaming, mate? What have I missed? Never trust that feeling. Only trust what you can see on the chart. Yeah. Yeah, if something doesn't feel right, I tend to leave it alone. I like to predict where things go in, because it helps me understand what's going on. If I'm looking at this and seeing weakness and the market drops, I'm seeing the right signs, because obviously you've got to look out for signals of things starting to change. And for me, we've been up here, nice, up here, came back up here again. When we came back, we came across this line, and the same here, and then for me it's looking weak. So I like to think, okay, I wouldn't take that because it's looking weak, and then by that drop out, it's confirmed my suspicions. So yeah, I to you, Sam. Not sure my streams are as popular or busy as yours. I don't speak. Yeah, it's only because I speak, mate. It's not probably because I've got anything interesting to say. It's probably because it's just a bit of company. If you're sat on your own in a little room somewhere trading, it can be pretty lonely, can't it? So, and not just that, I think it's nice to compare, you know, my charts to yours. Maybe if you're seeing the same as me, two heads are better than one. Maybe, you know. But yeah, it's just probably a bit of company, I think. I don't think what I say is particularly interesting, and I do talk a bit. But yeah, so now we've had this break, see, there's a few more buyers thinking, okay, I think it's going up, but I'm not prepared to do it here because it's looking weak. And then obviously a quick, 7 point, 8 point drop, something like that. And I think it needed that to encourage some more buyers. Yeah, with 9 point drop. Well, 100%. I speak a lot. I agree with you, mate. Yeah, it'll just be there that it's nice to have a bit of company. That's all it is. Maybe something to compare to. Yes, Trader, I've been there. Nathan, yeah, we've all been there. Most viral videos. When you look at that, you're thinking, what the hell am I reading there? But it's actually quite clear, yeah. A lot weaker here, yeah. It's clearly weak, isn't it? I expected that. That's why I put that line there. Oh, no, sorry. That's why I put that there for. Oh, no, just a little bit of support there. But yeah, it's clearly sort of looking weak, isn't it? We've got quite a bigger push up, slightly smaller one, a smaller one, a little bit of sideways, and then I mean, that one, if it had been strong, that one I think would have pushed up, but it's clearly struggling here, and we needed this couple of legs back. If we can get 2 legs back, then I expect it to get high. And you know why I think that? Because I can hear that. The penguin guy saying we've got this leg up, we made 2 attempts to go lower, or a channel up, 2 attempts to go lower, failure, push up. So I don't know whether we're going to make any type of that's a bit shallow, that, isn't it? I certainly expect, now this liquidity is still up here between 7.5 and 10, so I still expect to get up here. Where's 7.5? Around about there, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, there's some strong liquidity there. So whether we'll get here on the first push or whether we'll have another little pullback and then push higher, I hope we do, really, because if I'm going to go long, I don't want to go long there. I'd rather have a couple of legs. When do you plan to withdraw some more money? Well, Sam, one of my accounts was at $2,900, okay? This was around about the 18th. Now, it was an evening, and I was trading 5 contracts on no, I'll tell you what, sorry, it was $60 under the 2,600 because I was going to just use one of them and take a payment. And I was trading 5 contracts on an evaluation. And I saw a setup and I changed my account over, but never changed over the contract size. So I ended up losing $600. So I never got to take a payment. But my accounts at the moment, one's at 2,500, another one's at 2,200, another one's a little over 1,000, and another couple around about the 800. So next month I'll probably take, all being well, as long as I can get another 1,000 at least on each of the 2 big accounts, I'll take another 2,000 off each of the 2 of them. That'll give me $4,000. Whether I do that on the 15th of next month or the end of next month, something like that. But so I missed having a $2,000 this month. I had $4,000 last month, $2,000 in April, $2,000 in January. So I'm slowly climbing. And I believe that's the way it goes. I've noticed another trader. He started streaming for a while, but he stopped. He trades the Apex system, and I know I don't know whether he still works for Apex or he used to. Chris Childers, he's a nice guy actually. I've had a little chit chat with him on Facebook, on Messenger. I had a problem with Apex and he sorted it out. So, you know, I've had a couple of little messages to and from over the last 6 months. And he said he withdrew. He's got $300,000 accounts. He withdrew for $3,500 from his accounts last month. So $14,000. And he said it's the best he's had. So I think you maybe get 2,000, maybe fail for a couple of months because you're a little overexcited, and then you may get another one, and then you may lose one, then you may make two. So I think it's almost like an equity curve, isn't it? You get a bit more, lose a bit, get a bit more, but you get better and better, I think. So this is where you got to be careful, because sometimes I get that focused on going long, I get trapped. But I would like to see a break, so 2 pushes down and then a push up. So if we can, we'll see. So yeah, hopefully, I don't see why not. A couple of payments from 2 of the accounts, and that should hopefully leave a couple of thousand left. And then the following month, fingers crossed, I may be able to draw a payment out of all 5, which will be $10,000. But what I'm going to do is make sure I've at least got $2,000 in each account. But it'd just be nice to be able to make a bit of money. Then I could sort of add to it. I've got the 5 at the moment. Then I'm going to add maybe another 5 and then go up to 10. But what I think I'd like to do is aim for 20, but then trade them separately, 10 and 10. So if anything ever happens to the 10, you know, on one of the bunch of 10s, something goes wrong or whatever happens, I've got the rest. So I might trade it one day, something like that. We'll see. Okay, so we've had this channel up. Made 2 attempts to go lower. I prefer another attempt to go lower, and then maybe a push up and a higher low. But I have to be aware that there is a possibility, if this channel's drawn slightly different, we may have already had a break. I don't think we have, because it's touching. But there is a possibility. That channel yesterday, let's quickly flick over. Here, I was looking to go long here. And what Mac had drawn his channel, something like that. I think it was like that, something like that. And we'd already had a break and 2 pushes up. So I was looking for longs in here, and I bet there was a few more people thinking we're going long here, and then all of a sudden it came down. So I've just got to be really careful. That I've always got to keep in mind that if my channel isn't drawn right, I could be looking for longs when we've already had a break. But the furthest extent of this channel, it's clearly touching, so I think this is okay. But I would like to see, as the Penguin guy says, we've had this channel up, we've made 2 attempts to go lower, failure, pushed higher. So let's see if something comes out of this. There also might be a bit of a range here, touch here, and a few times here. So if there is a range, quite often, then we'll continue up. But what I am noticing is so whether we end up having something like that, I don't know. No, let's just leave it like this. Be interesting to see. Mac hasn't posted his chart yet, so this chart will be in front of him, so hopefully he may have something like that. That's what I'm doing, not trading all my PAs until September. Just passing evals on to go. Yeah. It does make me wonder if you have all your PAs in one basket and you trade something. I don't know, you hit a news event and you misjudge something. It would be a damn shame to blow them all, wouldn't it? Or put a big dent in it. So he has posted. So I quite like the idea of aiming for 20 and splitting it up 10 and 10. Maybe trading 10 at once. And if I can get a trade on the 10, maybe flicking over to the other 10. But as I say, I've made mistakes. Like I say the other day, I had that channel, $60 or $80. Sorry, that account, $60 or $80 off hitting my target so I can make withdrawal. And I was trading an evaluation at higher contracts, and I noticed a trade. I left the contracts but changed that. So if you make a mistake, you're making a mistake on 20 accounts, and that can be heartbreaking. He has posted, okay, chaps, I'm done for the day. Going to watch the F1. Good for you, mate. See you Monday, Brick. Sorry about that. Mac. Junk. Excellent. So hopefully may give us a picture of what he's put down. I mean, there's still, if you're looking at Bookmap, there's a lot of liquidity up top, but not so much down below. Right, he's done it completely different. Let's have a look. Yeah, I don't even understand what he's done. So let's remove that. This is a bit unusual. Mac's gone from... Oh, this is weird. And we're up here and he's still left it as it is. Let's have a look. Mac's gone from here to about there. Okay, that doesn't look terrible actually. Yeah, that's where Matt's gone. Leg and leg. So we've had a break out of this, and now he's drawn from here. Is that right? Yeah. He's drawn that. Yeah, he's drawn that. It's unusual. I wouldn't have looked at that myself. Okay, maybe he has got that. Okay, so we've got a bit of sideways there, maybe a couple of legs up and a bit more sideways. So at the moment, so that measured legs played out, and that's nice. That is, I'm glad that's done that. So we got a leg up, 2 legs of correction, a nice big bullish bar there, push up, little pull back, touched off this, like Mac's marked that as well. And I'll be shocked if Mac hasn't taken that trade himself. So we've got a leg up, 2 legs of correction, the higher low. He may even take that one, but I'm pretty sure Mac would take that because he's marked that sitting just nice there. So, effect. So anyway, at the moment we are going sideways, aren't we? So yeah, it just looks a bit odd, doesn't it? That first bit looks odd, and then sideways and that. Oh well. Who am I to tell him? I'm collecting PAs up to 11 now. Good for you, mate. Doing evals one at a time. Yeah, in September when volatility continues. Yeah, let's hope it gets back to some form of normality. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Quite good thinking with the accounts. And cross. Yeah. You don't know whether we're going to have any one of these black swan events. Now, what I will say is news events. Now, if you remember, a month or two ago, we had a 55-point green bar. Now, when you get a news event, we're aware of it, and you've got traders sat there literally with their finger on the pulse. Now, somebody mentioned to me, what if we have like a natural disaster? Well, natural disasters, not everyone knows about it at the same time. It'll come through, it'll filter onto the markets, whether it's minutes or seconds. But even if you had, you know, I don't know, let's say we had some sort of massive disaster, like the thing that happened in Japan, the Fukushima thing, it would have reached the markets within a matter of maybe seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, couple of minutes. And it may start to get volatile, but you won't get that huge drop that you would get if we, you know, if we were a news event and let's say, I don't know, the base rate went up by 50 points or whatever, a lot more than expected, then that would maybe, you know, that would maybe give us a quick drop. But any type of natural disasters or any type of terrorism type that they would filter through in seconds, and that would certainly be enough for your stop to be activated. Because not everybody is you know, will hear about that at the same time, whereas a news event, but you don't know whether you're going to make a mistake, you know, you accidentally change it to 10 contracts, or you click a button, or whatever happens. Mistakes happen, and I've made them myself, so it would be nice to be able to build to 20 contracts and then trade them separately. But if you imagine making a mistake and you blow 20 accounts in one go, you'd be throwing yourself out the window, wouldn't you? If anyone is going to draw a large channel, that looks odd. It's Mac, yeah. Yeah, I've got to say, yeah, some things he does draw. I mean, yeah, Mac's been doing it a lot of years, but, you know, Mac can get things wrong, I suppose, can't he? It just... I mean, in all fairness, I wouldn't have even drawn that. If that's where I believe that to be, I wouldn't have even drawn it, because to me, it's just a leg and a leg. I wouldn't say it was a channel, because it's only really touched once at the top. So I'd maybe just draw a couple of separate channels there, and then maybe going sideways. Let's just draw something from here. Let's have a look. Okay, well, that would work. That works really nice. So that one I draw, so we've had a break in a new high, but it does continue. We're going higher, so at some point you would want to look for, you know, something a little larger, maybe. I don't know. Okay, leg and a leg. If we can see something off here, then I may be interested in that, because it's clearly bounced off that a bunch of times. Leg and a leg. Lance, do you have access to platform on your phone in case of power? I don't, mate. No, I don't. What I will say is, when I start to get a lot more counts, I'm going to have to look for some. But what I can do, if I get a power outage, I can get onto my Apex account in 3 or 4 seconds and flatten everything. I can do that on my phone. So that's what I can do. But any type of Ninja Trader, I don't know, is Ninja Trader available on your phone? I think it might be now, but I can close accounts. So fortunately, at the moment, we're rarely getting, you know, open accounts, but that sort of bounced there and pushed up. But if that had finished a little bit more green at the top, then I may have took that, because it leg up, a couple of legs back, and then up again. But it's certainly an important thing to think about, mate. Yeah, for sure. I've had my internet go out once while I was streaming, and thought I wasn't in a trade or anything. I mean, if I'm in a trade, it's not such a major problem. Everything's set, me stop set. It's whether it's whether sort of I'm down here and I've got
Order
a trade
submitted.
ready, and it's close that it might get hit.
Order cancelled.
But it's certainly something to think about. Now I'm going over to Super Fiber. as opposed to the old copper cables that we've had in our area. And I got to 900 megabits on Monday, and I believe it's more stable. It's less prone to outages. Fortunately, touch wood, in the last 7 months I've been streaming, it's only happened once. So, but I am aware that I can just jump on my phone and flatten everything in my Apex account. So let's just keep fingers crossed. Rhodian in bookmap, it seems lots of liquidity above has disappeared in the last 15 minutes. Yeah, it has. That may indicate that people are thinking if they've gone long here, perhaps we'll take our profits here instead of up here. I don't know if you jumped in here maybe, or here, or wherever. The way it's bouncing here, and it lost that bit of momentum, didn't it? Somewhere, was it here? So people may be jumping out. There's still 421 orders at 210, which is up here. And there's some at 2.5, so perhaps people are thinking, oh, let's just get out, who knows. But yeah, there's less liquidity. So if you bought in down here somewhere and you're seeing it struggling, maybe you're taking profits. But I still like that channel I had, in all fairness. I can't remember where it was now. Was it there maybe? No, it's further down, wasn't it? I think it was there, wasn't it? Doesn't look as good now. Or was it here? Yeah, it's an hard one, that, is it? It's because it's coming away that's it's throwing me. Perhaps it may be better off just doing this. So anyway, at the moment, it's just sort of bouncing around here. You're going to draw. Start from the swing. Yeah, I'm just leaving it, mate, to be fair, at the moment. We're going sideways here. In all fairness, no matter how you draw this, we've had a break and a new high, haven't we? So if you draw that channel, we've had a break and a new high. So from here now, I'm just judging this as it is. At the moment, we're going sideways. So after this, in all fairness, we could go up or we could come down. So let's just get rid of that. It's getting a bit messy now. So we've had a leg up, we've had a leg up, and we've made this measured move. So we've had two nice legs up, it's measured move, and now we're going a bit sideways. So we could continue higher or we could drop down. There is liquidity up here, but not as much as there originally was. I would probably expect it to get close to it or to take some of it, but whether we continue higher, I don't know. It's definitely lost its pep, isn't it? That's for certain. Yeah, I've looked at it. I'm going to draw it from the start. I don't quite understand why Mac's done that, really. He's done that, hasn't he? He's done that. Well, of course, it's still working in that, isn't it? So if you draw that, actually, it doesn't look as bad as I thought. It's just two-tiered, isn't it? But so we've had a break and a high, and now it's continuing higher. So usually then you would maybe look to draw something else, because if we are continuing up higher, usually it'll go into maybe something a little bit more shallow. But Mac's obviously the man, he knows what he's doing. So you just don't know, do you? If I'm unsure, I'll just best off just leaving it. Yeah, that's how Matt's got that. It's just sort of a couple of legs, but in all fairness, I think the most important thing, even if you don't have that, is to have that, because that's the most important part of it. That's just the bottom of it, so it's a leg and so we've had a break and a new high, pull back, and obviously we're continuing high, but at the moment, now to me, we're starting to lose. That might be why this liquidity is drying up. Yeah, there's some reasonable size selling coming in at 0.2. There's 530 orders at 0.2. So that may trigger above here and then come down. So it does look like it's starting to lose a bit of momentum. These big sell orders in Bookmap have been moved down. Yeah, they are. That's my point. It does seem like now we're starting to come down here. I mean, that was sort of the peak, wasn't it? And that was a double top. This came down a bit lower. This has come down a bit lower. So I wouldn't be shocked if that triggers that bar there. I'd say it's going to trigger, which should hit this 0.2 point, these sell orders, and then come down. So we shall see. And if you look here, that low is slightly lower. That low is not that that's a massive deal in all fairness. But if that breaks above there, it'll trigger those 4602 shorts, which in all fairness are bigger than anything up here. So the trouble is sometimes on this Bookmap where you think it's going to hit these sell orders, it pushes and continues pushing, and you're thinking if it's hitting sell orders, surely it's going to start to dip. But who knows? Until we just range inside was pretty strong. Yeah, I think in all fairness, the bigger channel, no. I mean, Max got it from there to there, but that's the most important bit. That's the bottom of Max channel anyway, so that looks better to me. That looks like a nice channel, no arguing. We've had a break and a new high, which calls into question that trade I took. The only reason I took that trade, although I got out for half a point, is because we had this other measured leg, which we did hit, but obviously we came down and bounced first, so that was risky. It would have made a point, wouldn't it? Yeah, you'd have got a point out of it, point and a quarter maybe. But so interesting. So that's now hit those sell orders. So you would now expect that to come down, wouldn't you? So if people are taking profits there with those sell orders, I'm taking they are. You would expect it to come down. Okay, excuse me, I'm just going to take a few minute break. I'm just going to make a cup of tea. My gob's dry as a bone. I'll be just a few minutes. Okay, interesting. Unfortunately, I don't really want to go short here because the momentum has been up. That's kind of a small bar there, but I don't know. Looks like a leg and a leg. I still think that we could push into this once we get into this area, say. There is some liquidity, so if we can push into this, it may. I'm just not a fan of going short because at the moment the momentum has been up, and I thought after that, that's what I don't get sometimes. There's a lot of sell orders here, isn't there? There was a lot of sell orders, so why did it push up? That's what I mean. Sometimes you'll see these. I need to read in more about this liquidity. Sometimes you'll see these liquidity. You think they're going to hit these sell orders and drop, but you took that second entry short, that one there. Well, personally, I think it's risky because the momentum's been up, so I think that's going to go above there. See what happens. Yeah, there wasn't much available there, was there? So it's a bit under there, so you'd have probably got, let's say there, 0.5 at a squeeze, I think. It didn't even get to the EMA, so for me, yeah, so I can't do that. Let's put it about there. That's a tick, isn't it? Just below. Yeah, so you'd have got a 1.25 out of it, maximum. It's a bit below that anyway, but there we go. Yeah, I'm wary about shorting the tops when we're in an overall upward bias. I mean, the uptrend, it's gone a bit sideways, but I still see more move. We lost a bit of momentum, but that's often why you get this sideways stuff. But then I still until we started coming down, and then I'm convinced we're coming down. I'm only thinking long, really, which just keeps me out of this sort of trade. As you know, I'm not a fan of picking tops. You'd have got a point out of that, 1.25 maximum out of that, but it's just a bit risky. And obviously, as it's pushed up and stopped out, so if you'd have took any more than the 1.25, it wouldn't have worked. I suppose on the one upside, it's quite a small bar, isn't it? It's only a point, so it's a small bar, tick above, tick below, so it's a 0.5 maximum risk. Understandably to be wary, yeah. I mean, normally, I think the safest bet for me, what I like taking the bottoms of a range if I think we've still got that upward bias. And at the moment, until something tells me anything different, we still have, we've gone up, we've had a break, new high, we've bounced, and we're continuing higher. Now we're going a bit sideways, so I think we'll continue higher. If you notice now, these liquidity levels now are starting to build again, because when it hit here, we're a little bit lower, the liquidity level started to drop, and we came down, and I for sure thought we were going to trigger up and then start to move down, but we've had another strong push up, so we've had two really nice legs. And, it maybe triggered some people into going short there, thinking we're going to come down the bottom, and it came down a 1.5 and stopped them out. So I'm much more of a fan of taking the bottoms when the overall, the bias has been upwards. And it obviously has. Where have we come up from 60? We come up 45 points. So it's weird, and it sometimes when it does this, you think, okay, now here we go, and it drops quite strongly, and then off it goes again. So clearly ranging at the moment, but personally, just because we've had the upward bias, I'm still thinking up at the moment until I'm given any type of another signal. Just out of curiosity, what other traders have we got in here? Prop traders. I was just watching a video last night on. There are a couple of prop firms now doing. There's no time limit on an evaluation, and you can pass an evaluation and get a payout within a week or within something like that. Anybody heard of that? I was just sort of cruising on YouTube last night, and I noticed this guy made a video about the various prop firms out there and the differences between the two of them. I kind of like the idea of what I'd like to do, in all fairness, is have a 4-day evaluation, so you can pass your evaluation in 4 days and do your PA on the 5th. Now, it doesn't suit everybody. You know, I personally like to. I blew one yesterday. But I passed another one with that down stuff. I passed it really easily, really quickly in this. Once I start seeing it to come down, I mean, it flew down, didn't it? But not everybody likes that. Some people, like to do it the same as a PA, and that's perfectly fine. But I like to get them done and out the way because they're so cheap. So I tend to get a 50% hit rate on them. I'll pass one or fail one. It's $33, isn't it? It's $33, which is about £25 English. So it's, two of them yesterday, £50. You spend that on a night out having a few beers over here at the moment. So I don't mind trying to pass them. Top step. Is it now 2 days? Yeah, I had a bit of a conversation through another guy with the CEO from TopStep. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? When was the FOMC? I was watching this guy's stream, and it was just around when the news was coming out for the FOMC, and he had the CEO for TopStep on there, and I posted a message, and he answered it. It wasn't very clear. He just tended to think things were better than Apex. I don't quite know why, but I'd like. The trouble is, a lot of mine I'll pass quick, and it's a pain just doing 1 micro a day. It's nice just to have the option for people who do trade. Interesting, second entry long possibly there. Do I want to get involved in that? Risky in my opinion because it's a bit congested, but it would be nice to have the option for people who want to pass quicker that they can hurry up and get onto a PA. I don't think it would make a difference. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it's just I mean, it does look like we're a bit sideways. We're going to push up, but if I lost that trade, the answer to it would be it's congestion. But there again, if we're going to have a nice push up again, what do you do? I have to leave that, but I think I really like that. We've pushed up, we've gone sideways. Oh, look at that. I think that's going to push up strongly, I do. What do you do? Trouble is, it's happened really quick, isn't it? Yeah, I do. I trade 10 contracts. You've only got to get 6.25 points. I do blow some. I blow about 50% of them. So for every one I pass, I lose one. So yesterday, I blew one on the trade, and that big move down yesterday, I passed another one really quickly, actually, in about 3 trades. But I like getting them done because I like focusing. The trouble is, because I trade a different number with them, when I'm trading the trade copier, you've got to be careful because sometimes you can, because I trade bigger contracts, I've put the bigger contracts on one of the PAs by accident. So I tend to now try and trade them separately after the stream. Although I didn't yesterday. I traded them in the stream. But as I say, I was trading them once and I accidentally put 5 contracts in on one of the PAs and ended up losing some money. So I try and trade them separately now, usually after the stream, and I did one yesterday. That way I can focus just on that PA, that one evaluation, and I'm not, the larger contracts I'm not going to get accidentally messed up, so I'll shut down my trade copier and I'll just put the Apex evaluation in there. How long does it take you to pass PA 50 grade? Simo, how you doing, mate? I think you're a new face. How long does it take you to pass a 50? I like to do them quite quick, so a day or two. I like to trade them just on their own though, because I'm a little bit more risky with them, but I like to just get them done. But I passed one yesterday, but I've got another 6 days. I've just traded a micro in the morning for the rest of the day, so it'd be nice to have the option to have 4 days. That way you can trade a Monday to Friday, and then what have I missed? Someone else. I'm not a fan of Top Step. Yeah, I don't know a lot about them. He did say they were cheaper than Apex, but when I googled Top Step, I'm sure it said no, not. Yeah, when I googled Top Step, I'm sure it said $49, which is a bit more than what's it? So I think this is going to work okay. I do. We've made a new high for the day there. This liquidity is here, and I think this is a bigger channel. I was tempted to take that, but my concern is it's quite a big bar. 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a 3.25 point bar. Tick above, tick below. You're risking nearly 4 points there, and it is a bit congested. So you just don't know. It might trigger you out. At the moment, because volume's low, the market can play tricks on you sometimes. Now, I just quickly drew that. Now, it looks right, but even so, I'm not prepared to take a big risk like that on it. Take profit trade, that's another one, is it? After I get my Apex pair, I'll be getting one and copy my Apex trades to it using Replicanto. Yeah, always use Replicanto. I do have a discount code there for 20% off, which is still 20% cheaper than the Apex one. But since I've been using it, I've had one little issue with an account left, and Nick ended up phoning me, but I noticed it. Apart from that, I've had no problems with it. And I was getting problems left, right and centre with the Apex one. And you guys saw me. So yeah, definitely stick with that one. Top Step has just changed their rules like 2 weeks ago to try and compete. They've got to compete with Apex, Brant, haven't they? Depending on your trade plan, their rules, something be favourable. Yeah, I'll be surprised if Apex don't do a sort of like a counter, whether they offer. But in all fairness, a lot of people do trade them quicker. So I don't know why Apex don't, I don't think they're going to lose any money. They may even make more money. But I think it might attract traders if they can pass an evaluation in maybe 4 days. And on day 5, they trade a PA. So, it's trade your evaluation and be on a pay in the same week type of thing. I'll be surprised if Apex don't do a counter thing. I know Daryl Martin was on chat on his Apex, on one of the Apex Facebook groups a week ago, and he said somebody mentioned about when are we going to have shorter evaluations, and he said, what do you want? Out of curiosity, so maybe they will. But as you know, I've had 4 payments from Apex, so I do. Oh, look at that, straight through that liquidity. Wow, I didn't see that coming. So if you did take that trade, in all fairness, it worked nice. It was a bit big for me, but touch. It did look nice, but look at that. Straight through that liquidity. So I don't understand this liquidity. You think if it hits a load of sell trades, it's going to drop down. Why does it push through it? I still don't fully understand it. But, so maybe now we are getting something a bit bigger. I just realised wasn't listening live, so sorry for my message. You're right. Unfortunately, these funding companies are just becoming a commodity. It's favourable to us, absolutely. But hopefully you aren't funded with the companies that end up going out of business. Yeah, I've got to say I am comfortable with Apex, I've got to say. It'll happen eventually, I don't doubt it, mate. Yeah, can you imagine having 10 or 20 accounts with 10,000 in each or something like that? More. Yeah, the bigger ones, I think. The trouble is, because I think you can, work out how much these companies are making, there's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon, but right, there's got to be some sort of bigger channel here, hasn't there? Right, let's have a look. So hard to say, isn't it? Maybe there isn't. It's quite unusual with that sort of movement that you can't find, but perhaps it's just moving a bit sporadic. I did look at taking that, but it's a shame it was so bloody big. But it worked nice, that did. I thought at some point it would continue up. Now, there is some liquidity at 12, but apart from that, it's drying up. Let's look at the top, see if something's... maybe there's a two-tier channel. I don't know. I don't think it matters too much at the moment. Let's just trade it on a smaller scale. So we've got a leg up here anyway. So I wonder whether... So that leg and that second entry, that two legs down, that higher low there, excuse me, if you'd have held on for that, you'd have got it. And I love the way I've just put a little mark there because I'm sure that that's where the panda guy, not the panda guy, the penguin guy will take a long for a 1 to 2. So if I've marked that right, it's about 6.5 points of profit. And I love that type of style there. We got a leg up, 2 clear legs back of correction, push up, little bit of a pullback and a higher low. That is just asking. Look at it go up. So I'm just trying to mark these now because the more I get right, the more I'm understanding how he's trading. So I'm tempted to subscribe to him just to see if I can get anything more, if I can learn any more from him. As far as I'm concerned, if someone's good at trading, they're on my radar. Good luck to him. And he's a nice guy, and I know how difficult this business is, and if he's successful in this business, I want to hook up with him. Don't forget, folks, it is the last weekend of this, the evaluation, the Apex 80% off finishes on Monday, so you got today and Monday, 2 days left. So my code's down there as usual. If you do use it or you have used it, it is appreciated. As you know, I do get a kickback. I think I get about $5 at the moment per 50,000 evaluation. So it all mounts up and it helps me trade full time. So it'd be interesting to see what we get. I'll be surprised if we don't get some sort of an announcement from Apex soon. You know, like the likes of Top Step and changing things and shaking things up. Apex usually sort of do some form of a counter. Apple Sam. TikTok Trader is another one. TikTok Trader. TikTok. You're thinking of the app, aren't you? Tick Trader. Yeah, I've heard of Tick. The only ones I've tried is Earn to Trade was the very first one. And believe it or not, I paid $212 for that evaluation. Just goes to show how much things have changed in 2 years, isn't it? And then UProfit, I think I was paying about $75, $95. And I'll tell you what I did do as well, which still makes me sick. I failed a UProfit PA account and paid $500 for it to be reset. I still can't believe I did that. And I blew it within maybe a couple of hours. So I paid for the evaluation, paid the fee, blew the PA account, paid $500 to reset the PA account, and then blew that again. That still makes me sick, that does. Most viral videos, 4616. Looks like overhead resistance, 4616. What we got up here? In fact, I need to start drawing some of these lines of resistance because there's clearly something there. Let's say there. I'm going to start drawing these because there's sort of there, isn't it? It's reacting there. Maybe a bit higher, maybe a bit lower. Let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, let's put it about there. Bunch of times there, bunch of times there. So I'm just drawing these areas where I think it might stall a bit. Because I think it's important. Support. Extend right. Okay. And we've got yesterday's highs, which are there. Beautiful. Now, let's have a look what's going on here. Maybe there's two bigger legs here. There. And there. Interesting. Okay, so that one did work out well. And it was a terrible trade, but I think you really got to know what you're doing there. And the bit that got me a little bit nervous was the fact that it was a big bar and it is sideways, although at some point it's going to break out. And when it finished above it, for me, that was when it was going to push above. But what I think and what I'm confident of are two different things. But the more you see these things, I suppose, the more your confidence grows over time. But my confidence at the moment on these PA counts is slightly a little bit less than with an evaluation. If I was on evaluation, I'd have took that in a heartbeat. And it clearly pushed up 7-8 points. 11:33 is key time. Not on my chart, mate. 11:33 doesn't mean much. It's around about here, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yeah, see, there is a resistance around there as well, isn't there? Copy. Why can't I paste that? All right. How far over are we? Okay, yeah. Maybe not so much there. There's a little bit, but it's pushing straight through it really. There, we bounced up there, we bounced up again. So there's definitely some resistance and support there. So let's leave them there. I am going to start drawing these because I think it's important to be aware of what happened yesterday and where prices bounced, because it does make a difference. Nice channel going up there, really nice. I love that. So interesting, actually. So if there is a bigger leg up, which let's say maybe here and here, if there is a bigger leg up there, we may expect a break somewhere around about halfway. Yeah, yeah, we may end up having a break somewhere and then continue higher. So it's still all about understanding what happens, isn't it? Okay, so if we're lucky, we may end up getting something here. So it may stall there, it may stall there. Give us two nice legs, one leg, two leg, that would be so lovely. In fact, I'm not convinced that's there. Maybe more there, actually. Let's get rid of it. Tick above, then come down. Come on. 2 ticks. One more tick. Come on. One more tick. Up, 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 up. Come on. One more tick, then down. Now down. I'm just wondering whether Penguin Guy may take that. He may say this is a channel. He made 2 attempts to go lower. I wonder. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now down this way.
Order submitted.
Hold. It's got to close there. If it pushes up bullish, it's no good for me. It's got to close there and another little drop below and a bullish bar. Don't come down. There's a little micro and a drop. Close around about there. That's perfect. That'll do. Another bar, slightly lower, bullish. Stay. Perfect. Down. Beautiful. Okay, we need a drop below. Ideally, somewhere around about here, touching the EMA would be advantageous, I think. Come on, tick below. Come on. Tick below. Come on. There we go. Okay, so far so good. Now, this could be lovely. Actually, I'm going to drop it 1 tick above it just because this might move quick.
Order filled.
Beautiful. Now that is lovely. So let's just go. I mean, it could go up a lot higher, but I don't want to be cheeky. Let's just go 12.75. Let's go for 6 ticks. Sorry, 6 ticks is there. Yeah, I just don't want to push my luck at the moment. I'd say it's a lovely setup. It's probably going to go quite a bit higher, but it's a nice channel. Clear second entry long, right off the key entry point. I can't see a problem with that trade. Two-point risk, so it's okay. Looks like 2 legs to me. There's 1 leg down, a break, another leg. It's 2 clear legs to me. There's a little micro and a break and micro.
Order filled.
Beautiful. Okay. Lovely trade, I think. I got to stop looking at the comments, actually, because Hesse looks like 1 leg down. And I start to doubt it then. For me, it's 2 clear legs down. Leg down, sideways, leg down. In my opinion, second entries don't look any more simple than that. Leg down, break, leg down. Nice bullish bar off the key entry point. I think that's, you know, if we talk in scale from 1 to 10, I think that's a 9.25, 9.5, to be fair. It's not a leg down. It just doesn't make sense, a leg down. It didn't look right to me, that. It's a small channel, see, isn't it? Leg, break, leg. It's a perfect second entry long, that is. Anybody took that? I bet quite a few of you took that, didn't you? Thanks, Ryan. Textbook. Yeah, Thomas, I agree with it. It is textbook. Sometimes they take a bit of time. Markets are quiet at the moment, and sometimes the longer you've been in a trade, and I've done it myself, you can doubt yourself sometimes. So Yeah, you can clearly see that little leg, and then we've got that bar in the middle which sort of separates the legs, and then we've got that down. Textbook, yeah. Sam as well. Sometimes they take a bit of time, but when it's okay having that little pullback. People think sometimes, got my new eval. Good on you, mate. Look at it go now. See, so for me, it's going to continue higher. It's pushing into this liquidity area now. I did, if I end up having 5,000 or 6,000 in 10 accounts, that's a trade that I would leave, because I think 6 ticks at the moment with the ATR being low, and then I may move back up to 8 ticks or 2 points. But these trades here in the middle of a trend, and a nice tight obvious trend, as long as you're confident in the trend, I think it's where you should make your money. Because if you went for, I don't know, 1 to 2 reward there, you got 6 points there. I'll be shocked if that doesn't make 6 points. But it's right off the key entry point. We had this big push up, 2 legs down, and that is a bounce. I'll be surprised if the market comes down below there. But if that failed, I would have given up. Yeah. I think there'd have been questions. If that would have failed, there'd have been questions. Because we can all agree we touched here. It's confirmed anyway. And look how it's touching on the back end perfectly. The smaller the channel sometimes, the easier it are to draw. And that one fits like a glove. But yeah, I was thinking if that one fails, that's one question, one trade I couldn't give the answer to why that one failed. And I'll tell you something, everyone would have took that one. You took it with you. Thanks. Good on you, mate. Perfect little leg back. We just don't get trades like this, rarely. That's a treat, that is. That will go up to... Yeah, so if you think about it, what I'd like to do is to get more points on these trends. Now, for in the middle of a trend, it's a shame, really, to get a tiny little bit of the move when it goes up. Nice trade, UK Futures Trader. You can call me Lance, mate. Me friends call me Lance. So thanks. But yeah, leg up, 2 legs back. That one, that's the type of trade I'd like to leave, and then just follow up each swing and just maybe get 5, 6, 7 points. Do you know what? I haven't got 6 points in the last week. Markets are that hard. So when we have these nice trends, it's important to take advantage of it. And these are times where I'm going to, where I eventually want to get to the stage where I've got the confidence to leave them. And if I've got 6,000, 7,000 in 10 accounts, losing $200 is not going to break the bank at all. So that's the type of trade I just want to leave and maybe at least get 3 lots. You take that, Nick, did you? Please tell me you took that, Nick. Trades will fail without any reasonable explanation. Do fail. Not many, though, that someone can't answer. I suppose if there's some kind of a news event, but it's as simple and as, like what's it said, as textbook as that gets. And we get very few. And when I saw it, it's sort of disbelief, isn't it? Yeah, there's always something you can pick out. It's if I'm honest with myself, most of the trades that fail, I know they fail because my patience has got the better of me, and I've got into a trade that's risk. But that is one of those trades, and you can tell it was a good trade. I normally come in there with a limit order. I actually went 1 tick above it with a limit order because I wanted to get into that trade. I wanted to guarantee I was going to make this, and I'm surprised it came back before it went higher because it was that good. Yeah, if there's something in the news that happens, I suppose, yeah, that can make a difference, can't it? If something comes out and people panic, that may cause a bit of a dip or a bit of a push. Absolutely. Yeah, so there is a bit of chop there. I'm assuming you took that, did you, Nick? I think you'd have taken that, wouldn't you? God, I respect your opinion, mate. Tell me you took that. So interesting. Let's see if this holds or whether it pushes back up. I'll be surprised because it's moving up so nice. if that comes down here. But there's a little bit of congestion there, but even so, I think that was a lovely trade. So push up, maybe a little bit of a pullback. That I can micro adjust that to keep that. So it was far away, but touched the channel. Yeah, do you know what? A lot of these I leave because I like it touching the EMA, but I've heard Max say this for sure, that it's more important, that the channel's more important than the EMA. But I do like it to hit that, but it just looked like two beautiful little legs in a bullish bar, so for me it was a no-brainer. Yeah, what's your name? Is it Ford? Ford? Fard? I've murdered your name. I apologise. Where you from, bud? Nice to know where you're from. Yeah, sometimes when we get a good trade, we get a few new faces. Speak up. You didn't. Afraid of the EMA would pull prices, you coward. Same channel as you. Do you know what? I'm the same with that EMA. That EMA is my little, it's almost like a flotation device, isn't it? But I have seen Mac mark lots of trades and they haven't touched the EMA. But I have heard him say for sure that, I've heard him say for sure that the channel's more important. And to be honest with you, that was one of those trades that I thought, I've got to take that one. Didn't expect that, but let's have a look. What did it go for? So it went up for 3, yeah. So, I mean, I was out for a tick and a half, a point and a half, which was there just out before those eyes. But in the current climate, a point and a half I'm happy with at the moment. You know, that's a trade I think Marco would take. But yeah, I've been in two schools lately about this EMA. This EMA is, to me, is like a lifeline, and for it to push up, it has to touch the EMA. But now I've seen Mac mark those, surprisingly enough, and sometimes you can tell the integrity of a trade entry, whether we have a break and it comes below it. A lot of the times when you have a really good setup, it'll drop at some point when it comes out, but it'll still hold, which means you would think there'll be a lot of traders in there, but I don't know, who knows. So I'm quite pleased. Markets have been so tough lately. I've missed a tick or so on number 24 for some reason. Oh, no, I haven't. Okay, so that's still hell there. Now, this is not something I get into, but even so. So I'm just pleased to get a decent setup for once. We do have very few. I'll be surprised if Daniel hasn't took that one. Marco certainly would. But yeah, it's fitting so nice in that channel. You can't argue with that. Touch, close enough. Touch, touch. It's fitting that nice and beautifully on the back end. These smaller channels sometimes are a lot easier. Same there. It fits quite nice. God, I so wish I'd have looked at the market then, because I'd have jumped all over that. That was lovely. So have we got a bigger channel? I reckon by the end of the day we may have. I'm guessing it's probably going to look something like that. So we could go a lot higher. I doubt Dan took the second entry, just based on his trading style and how he filters it. No, I reckon he'd take that one. It's such a nice trade. It's a nice, simple second entry long, little micro, break new low. It's almost perfect. And it's clearly in that channel, so I don't know why you wouldn't. Oh, well, we'll see. I don't think he's probably here, is he? He'd be off on his yacht somewhere, I dare say. Really. Oh, Nick, Daniel's just sent me a message, mate, and a picture. He says he's busy. There he is. You can see him on the top deck there, surrounded by topless ladies. Look. Oh, I wish. Look at that. He's a lucky fella, isn't he? Hopefully joins this morning so we can find out. I'll be surprised if he hasn't took that one. You never know, though. You never know. High or low there, but I'm not a fan of going into these highs, so unfortunately, I'll leave it alone. So it's been a better day today. So second entry long plus 1.5 points. Okay, so at least I've got something out of today anyway for a change. We got that spot of resistance now. Yeah, it's there was a bit yesterday, wasn't there? I'm starting to put these up because they do play a part. It's nice to know if I'm looking at a trade right into a resistance area. And you've got to be careful because when I started trading currency, the first thing we would do is we would draw this from a bar chart to a line chart, and we would draw lines. We'd have one here, one here, one here, one here, you know, so because they do play a part. Look at this here and look at this here. Clearly a bit of sideways, clearly a bit of sideways. And look at this here and look at this here. So it does play a part. Look at this bit and look at this bit. So here and here. So it does play a part. But that was so good. And just for 6 ticks, it was a steal, that. How much do I earn from YouTube? Not as much as you would think. I think last month, it's not much at all. I think about $30 a month. So it's you're never going to earn money from YouTube unless you get hundreds of thousands. That's not why I did this. It's just well, it was mainly to stop me revenge trading. It worked, but it's nice to get to know people, look up with people and that. But no, you're not going to make a lot of money. I suppose I average about 600 views a day, something like that on the videos, somewhere around about there, between 500 and 800 or something views a day. But you need to make in tens of thousands before you start making anything decent. But that's why, you never hear me talking about subscribes or likes, because this is just a platform to get to know people, and just if I've got people watching me, I don't tend to do stupid things. Okay, leg. I still expect to go higher here. Maybe a second entry long. I'm not getting in. The last thing I want to do is lose that. The $50 was just on the one account I traded, but I've made 150 in the others, so 5, that's 750. So I'm up $800 total for the day on all my accounts. So the last thing I want to do is do something stupid. Nice trick. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Gets to know people, swap ideas. I remember when I first started to learn to trade, the mentor I had, said, surround yourself by people you want to be like. So I surround myself with you lot. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, is it? But no, I like having a chat. See, trading interests me. It's not only sort of fun, it's challenging, it's a hobby of mine. You try talking to that with your wife that you just bore the arse off. At least I can talk to about you guys, and I chat offline. Some of you guys I'll chat with on the phone, we'll message. So it's like a big club for me. And it's a club, if I help someone helps me. It's, it's always better to do things with other people that enjoy the same thing. 46, 12.75. Looks like something under that could bad for now. It looks bad for now. Yeah, we're clearly getting some. I still expect it to. It's still, it may still hold in price at the moment. I still expect it to push up, but there is some congestion around here, so it's quite likely there's going to be some here as well, and there's a bit of support up here. So if we can get above here, maybe a bit more, but I can still see us pushing up. We've had a break of this channel anyway, so you would expect to make a new high, but the day looks like there's clearly an upward bias. There's no argument there. Whether there'll be a big channel at the end of the day, possibly. But funnily enough, there's a... Wow. That dropped quick. So, wow, that did drop quick. I was just going to say, you got a possible failed second entry long there, so interesting. So fortunately, you got your points there. I doubt you'd have taken there. That one didn't trigger. Interesting. Agreed. What did I say? It's all right. I got off board. Paul Morgan's just posted a picture of himself and I've just insulted him. I can talk about it all day. Bloody hell, how long is it taking for the messages to get through? I mentioned that about 3 minutes ago. Hopefully Monday things will speed up. I've got a gigabit fibre being installed on Monday, fingers crossed. So that should give me an upload speed instead of about 11 or 12 megabits per second, 900. So I'll be able to switch to ultra low latency. So we'll be able to talk in more or less real time. But yeah, you're right, I can. But the trouble is, I talk to my wife sometimes, and then sometimes I'll start going off base and talking a load of crap, and she's still nodding like she's listening to me. So now, as that's pulled down now, I'd say it's pulling down to maybe the bottom of another channel, a bigger channel. So possibly something like that. Who knows? It might be a leg. I don't know. You've just got to trade it as it is, though. So there is a break, and I would expect it to continue higher at some point. It hasn't done, but it's working up in some form of a channel. I would look push up, bit of a pullback, a couple of legs up, bit of sideways. Now we're moving up again, so it does look like we're continuing on up for maybe a chunk of the day. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be 2 minutes. I will wash my hands, Nick. Don't worry. Okay. You're thinking short, are you? I can't think about short because it could be sort of retesting this. I can't think about short. So we've got a leg up there. It could pull back about 50% this and then push up. I can't think about short till I've confirmed it's coming down because at the moment we're going up, pull back, we're going up, pull back, we're going up, pull back. So having said that, there's no reason why you can't take a short. If you test scalping a point or something, maybe. But I do hear Mac talking about counter trend trading quite a bit. So I tend to stay out of these bits. So I would see, because that channel fits so nice, I would like to see it push higher. Because we have had that nice sort of upward bias. So that's interesting there. I'm going to pull down, a little bit of a pullback in a bearish bar, which is triggered. So I wouldn't be surprised if that pushes up there. Streamer lifestyle. You know, my dilemma at the moment is what I'm going to spend my $30 on from YouTube this month. I might get myself a nice bottle of whiskey, I think. I've got a nice 10-year-old bottle of Lafroig heavily peated whiskey to start on tonight. I'm going to do some damage to that, and I may order a Chinese, actually. I've got yearning for Singapore fried rice with a curry sauce. Right, okay, let's see if we push up from here. It's interesting how that's pushed down. A little bit of a pullback and a bearish bar there, which is triggered. You could say it's sort of two legs, although this leg's quite a bit bigger. Maybe. I don't even know whether likes make a difference. No, they're not going to make that much of a difference. Might give me an extra $1 a month, you never know. In fact, you've got to wait for it to hit $100 before you can withdraw it, so I might just leave it in there, and that might pay for me Christmas shop. You never know. Answer the question. Up to do. It's all right, posted on Facebook. Did anybody take this little beauty? A couple of people have liked. Someone put, I got up to do something and missed it. Right, what's going on here? Now, as we know, there is some support there. So that may play a part here. Let's see. How's Panda guy got on today? Anybody know? I know he blew his account, which is a bloody shame because he had it up to $8,000. He had his PA account up to $8,000. So he could have took a $3,500 payment. I don't know why he didn't. Because I think if you get it up to $3,500, I think you can take that, can't you? And a 300,000. Okay, so quite a nice big bullish bar there. So let's see where that goes. You could take that up a fraction, and that would touch there. Touched. In fact, that's probably a better place to put it. Touched. Body, touch. That way. So that might be a push up from there, we'll see. Or if it is coming down, it may trigger it and come down, but I doubt it. You're a curry fan. Yeah, I like a chicken tikka masala, my dear mate. But I've found lately, they plough my stomach overnight sometimes. And I looked into it, apparently because they use ghee, don't they? Which is like clarified, it's like butter with the salt. And that plays on my stomach overnight. So I found the last times I enjoy it, but overnight it just makes your tummy grumble. So I like my the Chinese I usually have Singapore fried rice with a curry sauce, or sometimes I'll have like that crispy beef. It's like sweet chili, crispy beef with carrots and crunchy stuff and that. I like that, so I might have one of those tonight, and then I'll crack open my bottle and have a couple of doubles. Panda likes living on the edge. He says free money. Yeah, I wish it was free. I wouldn't have spent about $7,000 on evaluations and failed PA accounts. Which is a shame, really, because he got that account up to $8,000, so he could have took a payment. Trouble is, he knows what he's like. He knows he's risky with trades, so I'm surprised he didn't hit that amount and take a payment. Love crispy beef. Yeah, me too. Crispy beef, sweet chili. It's like a sweet chili. What's it called? It's a Peking sauce, I think they call it. And that with a Singapore fried rice. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have. And that with a Singapore fried rice. Getting in front of the TV. I might put a film on tonight, actually. I watched that Top Gun Maverick again a couple of nights ago. When everyone went to bed, I stuck my earbuds in and blasted it up. Okay, so it's bounced like I thought it would, although I wouldn't have taken it because I'm not very confident with these, but I like to, if you can work out what the market's doing and it continues to do it, it just goes to show you're reading the chart right. So as it's bounced there, I would say it's likely to push up and make a new high. So if I can get a decent setup on the way, but the way things have been lately, lack of trades, I don't know, I'm going to take another trade. I'm just going to keep me one nice trade and call it that. Watching Dope Stick. Dope Stick. I heard of that, mate. Highly recommend Dope Stick. I'll take a photo of that. I'll have a look later. Where is it? Dope Stick. Okay, I'll have a look at that later. I think Panda likes the entertainment he brings. Yeah, maybe. He has a lot of subscribers, doesn't he? Does he have 11 or 12,000 subscribers? There's a lot of people watching him. Oh, look at that. Now, touched here, touched here, touched here. Now, usually at the end of the day, I might draw something like that just to say which circles it's working in, but it does fit kind of nice, doesn't it? Maybe even there, look. The only thing is, from here to here, it's quite a shallower angle, so I think if I see another trade, I might just toggle off and just trade one of my accounts. I don't want to jeopardize losing my trade. It's about opioid crisis in the US. So when you said the word dope, I thought, I wonder if it is something to do like that. I'll have to have a look at that. Opioids. Of course, yeah. They are highly... I know you have to sign from here. I did karate for years, and I ended up tearing some cartilage in my knee, and while I was waiting, I was taking some of those. I forget what they were, but you have to sign them because obviously there's opiates in them. I had to sign for them, but Christ, 2 of them and they knock you out. So, we've come down, maybe 2 legs. I don't know, but we've had a couple of pushes down and we've bounced off here. So, if we can get maybe a nice higher low, giving me the intention we're pushing up, I'm still not going to trade all my accounts. I might just trade one. Yeah, that's not good enough because that could trap you and come down again. You'll hear the penguin guy saying we had this channel up, we made 2 attempts to go lower, and then we pushed up some more. So unless there's a setup up there, you could jump in there and it could downturn and sting you. Yeah, if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, we've had that initial leg. We could trigger here and then have another leg down. It's possible. So that could be this leg down. We may trigger and have another leg down. Do you think this is going to go higher? Well, if you look at what we've had all day, it's continued up. We've pushed up, we've had a pullback, we've pushed up, we've had a pullback, we've pushed up, we've had a pullback. So at the moment, the bias is upwards. You can clearly see that. So until something tells me any difference, I'm thinking upwards. Now, is it going to go higher? I think it's more likely it's going to. But you never quite know for sure. But if you look just at the pattern of the day so far, we're going up. So I would say it's more likely to continue up. Now, if we have a break here, we push down, break these and start working down. Obviously, my opinion will change, but at the moment, we've had up, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, a little bit of sideways, push up, pull back. So I'd say we're going to continue up. And if you look on Bookmap, I use that just as a little extra indicator to see whether, you know, maybe the bigger pockets are the guys. And if you look up, the liquidity up here is much stronger than down below, so other traders think we're going up. So the combination of what I've looked at throughout the day and what I could see on Bookmap is still my thoughts are long at the moment. So we got a nice channel there, we got a break, we got a bounce off here. I thought we may do because it's acted as resistance a bunch of times here, so you know it goes without saying that it's likely to bounce here, and it has. So you just got to be careful though, because we hear the penguin guy saying we had a push up, we made 2 attempts to go lower, and then we pushed higher. So I'm giving it a chance to go lower really. And I would say if there is any type of bigger channel there, this may be the bottom of it. So let's just put that out there just out of curiosity. How's it fitting on the back end? Yeah, touched here, touched here. So it's quite likely it's working something like that. And if it is, touch here, touch here, touch here, it's bounced here. That's maybe another reason why it might be going higher. So the signs are there, but there's no guarantees. But it could have a couple of attempts. As I mentioned, if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, which is a bigger picture, we've had a leg down and we could get another leg down and then a push higher. So that's what I mean about the penguin guy, and you'll hear him say that a lot. We've had a channel up there, we've made 2 attempts to go lower, 2 attempts to go lower, and he calls it failure, and off we go. So I would say it's a lot more likely. Pad CU Goon is the one. I don't know what you say. I think you've rushed with your typing there, bud. Pad CU Goon is the one. I think you've started the beers early, bud, haven't you? You may come back and correct that, bud. I'll have a look at that later. Yeah, the opioid crisis. Yeah. So I did watch last weekend. I watched it again. Made in America. I've watched it before. I do like Tom Cruise, but it's a good film, that isn't it? It's based on a true story as well, but I do like that. Especially the bit where he crashes the plane when it's full of cocaine, and he comes out covered in white powder and he nicks that lad's bike and off he goes. It's a good film. That Thai food, I'm also drunk. That would make sense, mate. Pint is spent it. I got you. Pad See Goon. Yeah, okay. They don't get much Thai over here. There is some Thai, but you don't eat much Thai food in the UK for some reason. Chinese, which is, I suppose, close. In fact, it's not actually. Thai's... I went to a Thai restaurant once and I had this cold beef in like a salad with a vinegary, really salty sauce. It wasn't my cup of tea. But I do like my Chinese food. I don't eat it often because I try and watch what I eat a bit, because I sit on my arse all day. Okay, so we've had a leg up. Looks like we're going to get another leg up maybe, but there's no setup here. So as much as it looks like it's going to do that, it's only a first entry really. It wasn't even lower than that, so just makes it a bit more risky. Might get a fail second entry short, yeah, maybe. My only concern is if it's up here somewhere, we're getting a bit close to these eyes. I'm going to get rid of this. We know it's in line with there anyway, so we know that other leg is in line with here, so trouble is you got to be careful here, you can get trapped as well. Although for me there's no argument that that channel's valid, but we've had a break. We've also made 2 attempts to go higher, so maybe it's lacking interest in going long, so maybe it'll come from here, or maybe it'll trap in some longs and come down. You hear the Penguin guy talk about that a lot. We got a channel, we had a break and made 2 attempts to go higher, failure, come down. When we had that other attempt, we struggled to get up, hence that big bearish bar. We have bounced here, but leg and a leg, it looks like it to me. Trouble is, so little and often now it comes back and gives us a setup, it just continues on. And it is slow as well, so it could just do a quick. Okay, possible second entry short. Trigger that, give us a possible failure. Excuse me, yeah, someone else took it. Fortunately, he's trading 3 contracts with one runner on top. He'd have made his 3 contracts at the high, so good on him. Okay, leg. What we're going to do now? I'd like to see a bearish bar here and to trigger and continue up before we get to these highs. I'd like to get out somewhere here if we can get something, but I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I don't like it when it goes slow. Sometimes it'll give you offerings to go long and then drop. It did it earlier somewhere, didn't it? Where was it? I can't remember now. Was it there? Yeah. You may have gone long there. You may have gone long there. See, there's a few longs there. Maybe a couple of legs. Maybe you've gone long here. I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. You're thinking upwards, aren't you? And all of a sudden, wham. So that's what worries me about these. I was short at that high, took my profits. Looks like it wants to go higher. You were short at the high. Up here somewhere, were you? Yeah. See, for me, the bigger picture is up. Every time we have a pullback, see, we pushed up, pull back, pushed up, pull back, pushed up, pull back, pushed up, pull back. For me at the moment, and the liquidity is strong at 16, which is just above these highs, and there is some at 20. So I'd certainly say we're going to break this. Whether we continue on or not remains to be seen. But the last lump of liquidity I can see, there is some up as high as 30, but the stronger stuff is around here and 20. So obviously, if it can, once it gets above here, who knows what it's going to do? I'd say, the bigger picture says it's been going up all day, but we got two legs coming to the end here, so we may not even get to this level before we have a little bit of a pullback. But the overall picture is up, isn't it? So I'd say it's more likely to hit these. But the trouble is, sometimes they'll tease you getting into longs here. I don't think it will here because. But it teases you getting into longs, and all of a sudden you're thinking, hey, one leg, okay, we're going to push high in this. You jump in somewhere here, and wham, it just drops. 46.22, your next sell target. Yeah, well, it'll hit that liquidity around 20. So, yeah, maybe we get a pullback here and more continuation. I don't know at the moment. Can't go up forever, can it? But it does look like one of those days that's just go up, pull back, up, pull back, up, pull back, and the rest. But we had that big, so we had that push up on this, we had that big sell off yesterday, and that took us right down. So we're sort of up to, where are we? We're around this, aren't we, at the moment? But the S&P has been brilliant lately over the last 7-8 months. It's just. It's constantly making new highs, and I know that because obviously I trade it at 1. My pension, I can see my pension's been going up nicely. 46.15 looks hard to me. It's hard to say, isn't it? That's what I mean. Sometimes it's teasing you again, and all of a sudden it'll have a quick drop. And then sometimes it'll continue higher, then it sort of all flushes out the long stops and then pushes higher. But I did say I'm not sure where it'll get here without having a pullback, so whether we have, I don't know, a couple of legs down and then higher, I got no idea. I still expect it to break these highs, but there's no guarantees. Yeah, around 220. Around about there's about 700 contracts. It's certainly strong, but the 216 to 217 mark is strong, so I would expect that to be hit. But you never know. Okay, so there is a second entry short there, which is triggered. So this now we've pushed down below the EMA and then pushed up. So maybe this is our way up. God, it's so slow in it. There's been the volume's been a bit better today. There has been quite a bit there. But it's not quite back to normal. It's hard to say when it will drop. I think definitely will sell off. Yeah, quite likely. But it might be because the thing is that the more we sort of push up and go sideways, the more we build up these areas of support. We pushed up, there's some support there, there's some support there. Once we get above here, there'll be some support there. So the more we push up and lay down these sort of foundations for support levels, the less chance it has of coming a break from. So it's sort of better in a way. We've pushed up a few times here, so that line there is acted as resistance, and you can support, and you can see by it bouncing there, and we've pushed up and we've built up a lot of support here, so this is now acting as resistance, so it's come down and bounced. So the good thing about going up and then going sideways, it does lay those foundations, and it keeps things a bit safer from dropping up. Obviously, the quicker we push up like that, the quicker, I mean, like yesterday, we had that good strong, and then we had that couple of drops and a little bit, and then we had that massive big drop. But it's much better if it does like this, upside was a bit, it just makes things less likely to drop. You know, I suppose it's like rock climbing, isn't it? You go up so far, then you secure yourself, and then you go up a bit further and you secure yourself again. So if you do drop, you tend to hold at the recent sort of support level. In fact, what time is it? I'm going to knock on the head, folks. I usually do 3 hours, and to be honest with you, the 50 was on the one account when I was I'm in an hour and about the trade, so I'm up a total of $800 minus fees on me PA's account today, so I'm quite pleased. There's not a lot of offerings lately. That to me was a lovely little trade. That was, it went a point and a quarter or point and a half, I think, but I got out of it. I just started having doubts. That for me was a cracker. Leg up, 2 legs of correction, nice push up, pull back, nice big bullish bar, up again, a little bit of pullback, dropped, pushed up, nice and strong, high low. That was a lovely trade, that is. And that'll be a trade that the Penguin guy will take. But it's a shame I didn't get in a bit early there, because I'd have jumped all over that, and I'd have taken that for a few more points. So it's not been a terrible day. It's been a better day than normal. It's still slow, but we are getting movements. We're getting less areas of chop. There's a bit here, a little bit of sideways here, but it is moving. So we are getting opportunities, and I'm pretty sure that'll push up higher. Pushed up back to the EMA, pushed up back to the EMA, we'll see. But it is come up in steps, isn't it? It's coming up in steps and laying these sort of areas. We've got some support there, and now we got, resistance there. Now we got support there. Bounced a few times, pushed above, we bounced off here. So it's a better day today anyway. So there you go. So I'm done now for the weekend. I'm quite happy with my day. Conditions have been really hard lately, so I'm really pleased when I get a winning trade. And I've had 1 point in 2 trades, a smaller half a point, but there we go. Sometimes you get into these trades and you have second thoughts. Probably jumped the gun a little bit, but a better day today all over, so I'm quite pleased. So I am going to save my chart. 28th, 7th, 23, and that is it for the week. Another week done. I'll save that again. So So there you go, folks. I appreciate all your comments as usual. Don't forget, this finishes. You got the rest of today and Monday with this 80% off. So my code's down there, UKFT and 80, because we've got 80% off at the moment. If you use it or you have used it, it is much appreciated. So that finishes Monday. But failing that, have a great weekend. I think it sounds like there's been a couple of trades today, so it's not been a terrible day. So I appreciate all your comments, and I will see you all again on Monday. Hopefully, we may have a good day Monday. So have a great weekend. Stay safe, everyone, and I will catch up with you again just before the market opens on Monday. So take care. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.